Hey, y'all, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to Pelion, South Carolina. It just got done raining here in Pelion, and I wanted to bring y'all in for the weekly Walk in the Garden with me video. So I appreciate y'all tuning in and joining us. I'm going to try to do a better job of walking through the garden this time so we can get a better look at everything. Alright, let's see here. I'll zoom in a little bit. These here are Yukon Gold potatoes. I got 4 rows of them. Let me see if I can get down in here. We can walk through and get a better look at them. This here is a volunteer seed from something I fed the chickens. I don't know. I think it's a squash or a zucchini. But we got lots and lots of Yukon Gold potatoes, and I know they need to be healed bad. I'm going to heal them again tomorrow. We're going to heal them again tomorrow. But like I say, it just rained, so I don't know. Y'all drop it in the comments below. I thought it would be a waste of time to try to heal the potatoes right after it rained. I thought it might be better to try to wait until the soil dried out a little bit. But y'all let me know in the comments. This is the first time I ever grew potatoes, and I ain't never tried healing potatoes after it rained, so you let me know. I figured it'd be a waste of time. Alright, now here's our, like I said, here's our Yukon Golds. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Alright, now here's our temperature sweet corn. And I'll zoom in on these because you can hardly see them. We planted squash and zucchini in between the rows of the corn. I'm just going to zoom in down there and see some more of it. Well, you can't see those too good. But there's squash and zucchini planted down there in the middle of the row, right there. Between all the rows of the corn. And we got 7 rows of temperature sweet corn. This here sunflower, y'all. Check this thing out. This is a volunteer sunflower from the chicken feed that I feed the chickens. Now, y'all look how big this thing is, y'all. Now, here's my hand. Here's my hand for perspective. Now, I'm about 5'11", almost 6 foot, 220 pounds. Y'all, I got a pretty big hand. That's a big sunflower leaf, y'all. Let's see, I'll zoom in on the stalk over here. This stalk on this sunflower, this volunteer sunflower, is bigger than the corn I'm growing. But again, it's pretty nice. I'm glad we didn't chop it down. Alright, now over here we got our watermelons, and I went through and I thinned them out, but I might need to even go in there and thin them out some more. I don't know. They might be alright. But that's a watermelon. They're Jubilees and Crimson Sweets. And then we have another row of watermelons over here, but between the 2 rows of watermelons, I've got 2 rows of sunflowers I planted. Right there. So 2 rows of sunflowers. And then we got the watermelons again. And then I got 2 more rows of sunflowers. And then starting over here, I got okra. Let me zoom in on it so you can see it. I planted it way too close. I'll probably have to go through and thin it out like I did the watermelons before. The okra seed comes up real good in our soil. Alright. Here's our tomato plants that I transplanted, I think 2 weeks ago now. I was planning on running the first piece of cotton string, tomorrow, if I have enough time and everything works out. Because I'm going to do, if you remember, I'm going to do the Florida weave. See, look at here. That rain already knocking over that plant. See what I'm saying? See how I knocked it over? Oh, and look there. Let me zoom in there so you can see it. We got little blooms starting on the tomatoes already. But this is why I need to come in here, and tomorrow, maybe this afternoon, probably tomorrow though, I'm going to tie cotton twine between the bamboos and the stakes. And it's called the Florida weave method. And I'm going to let that plant lean up against that that twine. And I'll probably sandwich it with a couple pieces of twine back and forth. And you do that as it grows up. Each week or two, you just add more line and go up as it goes up, and you create like a little lattice, a little fence, a lattice work of cotton twine or whatever you happen to be using. It turns into like a lattice work, like a fence that the tomatoes grow on. Now, I know I didn't look at them, but we got cucumbers growing here under the fences. Let me get a better shot here. I need to hoe. I know. I need to hoe my cucumbers. I hadn't done that yet. But we need to go down through there and hoe them. But we got cucumbers coming up underneath all the fences. So that looks pretty good. Now let me come over here and check out these tomato plants. And I don't know what kind of tomato plants they are. All I know is the Pelion FFA grew them, so it was a fundraiser for the FFA in Pelion. And they were selling them at the IGA grocery store in Pelion. And they weren't labeled. So I just bought the whole flat. So we got a bunch of tomato plants. They're looking good. Like I say, they're getting to the height now where we need to come along here and tie some twine and stretch it along through there and go back and forth, maybe 1 to 3 times, about 3 times probably, at least twice, one on either side, and then maybe another up a little higher. I don't know, but I ain't never done it before. We got to do it and figure it out though. I'll bring y'all in and do a video or show y'all what I do when I do it, if that makes any sense, y'all. So what y'all think? Drop it in the comments. Y'all like these little walk through the garden videos? I put fish fertilizer around all the tomato plants the other day. So for a few days, the cats were really enjoying their time in the garden. Wasn't that right, Aries? There's Aries. Yes, hey Aries, how are you doing? Such a good Aries. All right. All right. Well, y'all, I reckon I'm going to cut it off here. I think that's about everything I need to talk about with the garden today. If you got any comments or questions, feel free to drop them down below. I'd love to read them and talk about it. Maybe there's something I forgot or something you want to ask me. Well, hey, y'all, if you made it this far, you already know it. I appreciate it, y'all. God bless you. And y'all come on back now. You hear?